Hello, everybody. Welcome to our channel, which is called Napolo Philos TV. Yes, today we are going to continue with colonial systems of administration. But today we are going to focus on assimilation policy by the French and the direct rule by the German. Remember, in the last session, we talked about indirect rule by the British. Today, let's talk about assimilation policy by the French and the direct rule by the Germans. So, without wasting our time, let's begin. Let's begin our session of today. So, the French assimilation policy. When we say the word assimilation, is derived from the French word assimiler, which means cause to resemble or to look alike. Assimilation was a system of administration in which French colonies were given a culture and civilization similar to that of France. It was intended to make Africans be like French citizens. That is to say, the Africans were to substitute their indigenous culture, religion, and customs with French culture, language, law, religion, and civilization. There are different reasons why the French adopted the assimilation policy. Where the French believed in superiority of their culture and civilization. They considered it to be more developed. Thus, they felt it was their duty to spread it among people with backward cultures through assimilation policy. The influence of the French revolutionary ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity also made the French to use assimilation policy. They had the feeling that all people are equal. The French wanted to create a policy that would support France in future conflicts and international issues. Here, the policy would create friendship between France and her African colonies. That is why they used French assimilation policy. The French expected this policy to be economically cheap because the process of assimilating Africans was simple and easy. The French regarded their colonies as overseas French territories. Therefore, assimilation policy was the best alternative system for changing territories to resemble the French province in Europe. The French wanted to create a class of African Frenchmen who would help in the administration of their colonies. The early contact between the French coastal areas of West Africa, especially Senegal, made it easy for assimilation. This is because Africans had already adopted the French cultures and language. Okay, those are some reasons or a reason which which led to French to adopt this policy of assimilation assimilation. Here, the Africans were to resemble the French citizens in all aspects or spheres of life except color. Africans were to resemble provinces of France. Yeah. Now, let's continue with the German direct rule. German, to colonize some African countries, adopted the policy of direct rule. In this system, indigenous and political administrative institutions are replaced of their colonies in Africa. German Southwest Africa, which is called Namibia, and German East Africa, which is called Tanzania. It involves the use of soldiers to direct control their colonies. They would bring here in new chiefs where they had no chiefs. They replaced the old chiefs with new ones. Now, let's begin with some reason why German, which led to German applied direct rule. It was because the Germans believed that it was the only system through which they could effectively administer their colonies. They also believed the system would enable them to exploit and benefit from African resources. Good example. They believed that they could raise enough revenue through taxation. With direct rule, the Germans would ensure that the Africans grow enough cash crops to feed their home industries. The Germans had used the force to take over many parts of Tanganyika. Soldiers had to be used, otherwise Africans could revolt at the slightest opportunity. The Germans had suffered early revolts and therefore had to bring in the harsh leaders to avoid more riots or revolts. The Germans wanted to promote their superior culture over Africans. This would involve imposing their culture on them. In many societies, there were no chiefs. Where the chiefs existed, they were not faithful and powerful enough. The Germans therefore had no one to entrust or to trust authority with. They opted for this system because they had enough manpower to man or department. There was no need for recruiting or using Africans. That's why they used direct rule. They also feared the expense of training Africans before they could take over administration, and here they thought that it could strain their budget. Like other powers, the Germans did not want to use a system that was used by their rivals, British. This would intensify competition and conflict or rivalry among them. Okay, followers, let's stop by here. Next time, we shall talk about some consequences or impact of European colonization in Africa, where we shall talk about different positive consequences and negative consequences. Okay. Thank you very much for watching and listening this movie and enjoy the course. Thank you very much.